quick shot. He picks up the nade, and he gets the full gap with the lead. Oh, he does get 3. What a clutch. And a 4! Colin with 4 kills. It's Burn. He gets another kill with the sniper there on the left side. And another kill. That's 4 for Burn on the street. Looking for more. And another 5 for Burn. He's gone insane at the second flag. The third.
Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? It is Corey, Jagon Marco, here with Season 4, Episode 8 of the DODCAST. Oh, and just look at that. My face cam is lagging out already. Always a good start when that happens. Hopefully that doesn't become a recurring theme for the rest of this. We'll see. I'm not sure if it's my internet or if it's the program. Yep, nope, it just lagged out again. Okay. Anyways, Season 4, Episode 8, we've got recap on... You know what, I'm gonna unplug this. Maybe it's just having problems registering the strobing light. It seems like something stupid that would be going on with such a pedestrian face cam setup. Recapping chemille, as well as the first week of gold playoffs, and predicting halle for silver, and the semifinals. So, for gold, that is. So, let's jump right into it. I've got a match to cast in, I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours, something like that. And I've also got a scrim to play. Oh, and then my face cam goes out again. Let's see if it comes back on its own. It did. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, so, jumping right into this, I'm really just so over the way this face cam is acting right now. I don't understand. I don't know if it's internet problem or if it's computer problem or what. I'm just going to start closing some shit and see if that helps because Jesus. Okay, it's still on now. Anyways, all right. Let's get into the recapping. So, I casted one match this week. It was the NOA versus 3H game. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, so 3H 878 to 66 for NOA. I got to watch effectively a full game here of NOA, which was nice. Blue Cactar looked really good on the heavies. Meep, of course, I keep talking about Meep, looked really good. Shuan on rifles as well. Eclipse on the sniper. All these guys, they got, you know, the basic stuff down, like the mechanics and everything. They just got to learn the intricacies of DOD. And once they do, they will be good players, I can tell you that. On the 3H side, as you can see here, Piff with 37, Johnny with 32, CK with 31, 24 on Cam, 16 on the Bear, 10 on Jane. And then on the other side, Blue Cactar with the STG at 18, Meep with the car, 18, Shuan with the other car, 14, Eclipse with the Unter, the sniper, swapped around a bit, 13, and then 10 apiece for Miles and iJab on the other automatics. That was the first half. And then in the second half here for 3H, CK did get the 40, which was, I was asked to predict whether it would be over or under 40, and I said he would go over, and he did, just barely. 42 for him, 37 on Johnny, 33 on Piff. Piff had a really crazy, like, bar spray at one point. He might have got, like, 5 with a bar spray. Which was crazy. I didn't catch the whole thing, just the very, very end of that spray down. But Cam had 15, Big Bird with 11, Jane with 6, and then on the other side, iJab with 21, 19 on Meep, 15 on Shuan, 14 apiece for Blue and Mouse, and 6 for Eclipse. You know, same story every week when it comes to NOA, just step by step, little by little. They will continue to get there. I like the mechanics they have on most of their players. You know, DOD coming in from scratch it's a tough fucking thing. And it's not, again, I say it every time, it's not like there is another brand new or recently new team for them to be playing against to, like, you know, learn incrementally. This is thrown straight into the lion's den playing against all the other players that have like 10 to 22 years of experience in this game. So yeah, just nice to see them improving little by little and to see some of the basic skills that they got. So hopefully, again, that they will keep playing and stick it out and continue to move forward as a team in DOD, because I would love to see them, you know, season to season getting better and better. So, on to the next one. We have Shut Up We're Trying versus No Go. Shut Up We're Trying wins this one 548 to 67. Now, I didn't rewatch the DODCAST to double check how the predictions were exactly. I think I said Shut Up We're Trying was going to take this game. I know I predicted Saab over Romario, which we'll get to, which was like, I went and played against Romario right after that on chemille and was like, oh my god, I think I got that wrong. But I stuck to it. Saab did get the win. First, it's Shut Up We're Trying, though. So, this lineup with Shut Up We're Trying, man, I just love it. I think that this team can absolutely upset anyone. As we can see here on their allied side, 359 to 24. On the no-go side, J-Rod with 27, Sapphire 17, Apple 17, 9 apiece for Matthew and Decaf, 5 for Dedro. And then on the other side, as I said in the DODCAST, Illusion 31. He's so good on this map. I've seen him just dominate numerous times over the years on this map, and he proved that once again. Crod going underpass with the bar. You know, I mean, the guy's been playing in the upper levels of DOD forever. He knows how to play this map and every other map for that matter. And that heavy duo of him and Stark is going to be formidable for everyone in Silver. I look forward to seeing this team play in playoffs. I think that they could play spoiler to absolutely anybody. So yeah, 25 for Crod, 22 on Stark, 22 on DB, their new sniper. Aim Tech with 20 on the Garand, you know, not stuck just having to snipe. Like, I know how it is when you're somebody who, you know, like, he's a good sniper, but you'd rather not be stuck on a sniper rifle with no grenades and, like, kind of left to hold positions. Like, it's not the most fun thing in the world for somebody who's an aggressive player. So I know how that goes. I'm sure Aim Tech is loving getting to be on rifles right now instead of a sniper. And then Nicholson with 18 on the third rifle. Like, this is just a really good team, man. Silver is wide open. Shut Up We're Trying can absolutely beat anybody. But then in the other half, looks like this was second half, 189 to 43 on their Axis side. Shut Up got both halves won. 28 on Illusion, 32 on Aim Tech with the car. He top fragged that half. 27 on DB on the sniper, which is a pretty impressive number. Axis side sniping chemille. 27 on Nicholson, dropping bombs with the Stas there. 20 on Crod, 11 on Stark. Looks like he didn't have too many people left for him to even kill at that point, but they got the job done big time. And on the no-go side of things, J-Rod with a 34. Again, it looks like he had 60 kills in this game. Nicely done for J-Rod, of course. 22 on Dedro, 18 on Decaf, 14 on Matthew, 13 on Apple, 11 on Sapphire. Big win for Shut Up We're Trying. You know, no-go, it's a tough loss for them, but I'm sure they will pick themselves up. They'll practice. You know, they're a team who I know is always willing to scrim. They will improve. They'll get things shaped up heading into the playoffs, and they will be able to compete with anybody. I have no doubt about it. They have a lot of good players and experienced players, all of whom have played together, like a lot. So I think no-go will end up being just fine. Don't you worry about them. Washed Up versus Spicy. I know that I said this game was a 50-50. I don't remember who I picked, so I'm not going to claim that I picked one or the other. But 184 to 148, it was a 36-point victory for Washed Up. Big win for them, taking down Spicy, who was in the hunt for that first place spot. You know, this factory matchup must have been a lot of fun to watch these guys go back and forth. So on the first half, which was Axis side for Washed Up, they won 91-46 for Spicy. I was about to call them for It Burns for a second there because I just read that aloud. But Die Life had 25 on the Garand, of course, 23 on Stamp, 21 on Stealth, 16 on Dillard, 15 on Laura, 9 on Twist. On the Washed Up side, PB once again, 36 with the car. You know, he's a god. Like, what more is there to say? He's averaging like 70 kills a game. I don't know if he kept that up in this game, but he's probably still like at 68 or something. Secretly got in this week, which is awesome. I love to see that, man. Secretly, who played Season 2 and then kind of didn't really play in Season 3, I believe, and I see him back again playing, hopefully with some more regularity, because he's a really good player. He had 26 on the Stas, really impressive third rifle, with the little bit of DOD experience that he has coming over from Source. And he's a professional Rainbow Six player as well. 24 on Casino, of course, Cass, old school, great rifle. 20 on Hopper on the STG, 15 on War Within on the Sniper, and 14 on Bromley. And then on the other side of things here, okay, so this was a 102.93 win for Spicy on their Axis side. As you can see, some nice numbers from their dynamic rifle duo there. 39 on Die Life, holy shit, almost went 2-to-1 with 40 kills there. 30 for Dillard, 25 for Stealth. That is a crazy factory team set of numbers right there. Close half it ended up still being, though, so good work by Washed Up to not, be giving up frag totals like that in factory and just having them push through and cap out, which is something that can happen a lot. When you have a big factory performance on either half, you can see that just blow through that route straight to the first flags on either side. And you had 16 on Twist, 13 on Laura, 10 on Stamp, and on the Washed Up side, Hopper with the top frag on the bar, 28, War Within, 24, Secretly, 23, 19 on Bromley, 17 on Cass, 11 on PB. It looks like he swapped to the Tommy. I mean, you got to switch something up at that point, right? I know how it goes. I've had to swap 2 carbines numerous times over the last couple seasons when shit wasn't going so well for me with the sniper. And, I mean, PB has had basically the most consistent season of anyone in either division right now, with 70 kills average up to this point. That's crazy. So having one half where he didn't drop 40, don't worry about him. He too will be just fine. But yeah, big win for Washed Up there. I felt like that game was a bit of a coin flip. That really strong players on both sides of that map. And, having to deal with that Die Life, Dillard, and Stealth team on one route is rough. But it looks like Washed Up had the answer to it. Certainly PB on that Axis half was able to just shut them down. And then on the Allied side, more of an all-around team effort. Like, nobody had a crazy kill total like Justin did there. But Secretly had a really nice game overall. Let's see. So he had 23 and 26 for 49. He may have actually top fragged here. Or within 24 and 15, so not him. Hopper, 20 and 28 for 48. Yeah, it looks like Secretly top fragged. Well done to Secretly, getting back in the lineup, playing DOD 1.3 again for the first time in a little while in a match, and top fragging for Washed Up in a very, very pivotal game for them in the standings. So good game to both teams. Wish I could have casted that one too. That's a common theme this week. I only got to do... Well, I got to do 1 gold game and 1 silver game, so it's kind of a bummer when I don't get to do more than that, because then I'm talking out of my ass on the DODCAST. I can only speculate on what happened with a lot of this stuff. But on to the last one which I really wanted to cast but didn't get to. Saab versus Romario. Saab makes me look smart, and they get the W here, 143 to 142 over Romario. That's a bit of a heartbreaker for Romario in the standings. They were in a really good position to have the tiebreaker over a couple of the biggest dogs in the silver division, where if they could have got that record to be tied with them, they would have ended up with the 1 seed. But I believe those dreams are now dashed. A 1-point fucking win, though, for Saab. And the logic that I made behind that prediction was these guys have lost a few really tight, very crazy matches, and we've seen this before in DOD. When teams are losing those matches at first and they stick together, you learn from it. It's character building. You don't panic as much when you're in those situations later on, and it's happened recently. And we see it here, 1-point victory for them over Romario, another team who is familiar with these close games. And I know Yanni said in the cast chat, King Yo hit a last-second clutch shot on somebody going for a cap-out that would have won the game for Romario, so I wish I could have seen that too. Been lots of crazy close games this season between Romario's comeback win against Washed Up, obviously the Insomniac comeback against 3H. This game, we had a cap-out at the last second against Chill Pill on Armory to win that game. Been a lot of really, really tight games this season, which is fun. So first half, 48 to 42 for Saab here. Really, really low-scoring, close game in that half. 23 on LZL, 20 on Burns, 17 on Lobaton, 15 on Matt, Mand, and Zaps. So no Rafinha this week for Romario, which is always unfortunate. He's such a good fucking player. And then on the Saab side, what did I say? Manor is really, really good at this map. He top frags on allies. King Yo with 22 behind him. Scotty with 21 continues to be very, very good for Saab all season here. 18 on Toki on the sniper. Yanni with 13. 9 on Caleb. They won that half by 6 points. The kills were within 4 of each other. I just clicked the wrong second half screenshot. Teamwork all around there from Saab, though. And then in the second half, Romario actually won this half by 5 points. The top fragger for them was Burn. Man, when Burn gets to play, it's always so fun watching people play with lights. It's a lost art. It's a lost art in this game. Everybody loves the Staskarand, and I get it because there's 2 nades. I prefer the Staskarand too, but just because I'm not good with the Untra and the Tommy, I still love to see people use those weapons and use them well. Matt had 21, Zaps with 20, 18 on LZL, 16 on Lobaton, 15 on Mand, and then on the Saab side of things, he had 27 on Toki, top fragging on Axis side with the sniper. I love it. You had 25 on Yanni with the car. Of course, Yanni's had great car halves all season. And I just watched him get a pretty crazy car clip in a scrim the other day. Ask him for it. He'll show it to you. He got a nice little 3K. That was just ridiculous, as he was last alive on the last flag on Lennon. 25 on JN, I said. 21 on Scotty. Again, same kill total for him both halves. He's been a rock for this team all season. Kingyo on the Stas. 20 kills there, and apparently a huge clutch shot to win the game. 19 on Manor, just about even there, and 17 on Caleb. Just a really big win for Saab, man. Romario has beat 3H and Insomnia. They are a good team, and for Saab to take them out, that's big. Doesn't matter whether it's by 1 point or 1,000 points. That's a big W for Saab. I think this team is finding their peak at the best possible time, getting ready for playoffs, putting those tight losses behind them, the lag out game on Harrington, all that stuff, and finding form right when the games are about to start getting real intense. And they've been playing intense games all season, so they will be very, very familiar with those intense games come playoff time. So that does it for the silver wrap-up. In gold, I can do our game first. So we played against Chill Pill on Railroad 2 best of 1 quarters. We won 157-82. The game felt like it was closer. Like, it felt like one of those games where if you gave up a cap out, you're going to lose, legitimately. And they were up our ass. So the first half here, when we were on Axis, we ended up winning 97-62. I would have guessed we lost that half, to be honest. They out-fragged us by 17. Gall had 32 for them, 22 on Colin, 22 on Brandon, 27 on Arachnid. He had a great half on Allies. He was really tough to get out of wherever he was at any given time. Chi with 21 lockdown apartments, and Insane going along with the Garand at 18. Chi and Booten had a really good bar half together there, and Apps. On our side of things, Brian Dorito with 32. He has been just dominating these last few weeks. Really, every match he's played this season, he's had a really good game. And in particular, his Axis halves have been nuts. He's been probably averaging around 36, 37 kills across the last 5-6 weeks. Toxinator with 27. I had 22, went negative because I'm a negative sniper. 18 on John Gale with the Stas going long, 17 on Jules, and 9 on Spec Ops and Train. So we won that half by 35. I know they capped out on us for sure. I guess we capped out at least once, maybe twice, and we held mid a good chunk of time. And then on Allied side, we win 60-20, just a 40-point win there. We did out-frag them, it looks like, by 27, a lot of which is Toxinator and Dorito, of course. But Gall, again, 33. He had 65 kills total in this game. Just such a beast, Andrew is. Insane with 24 on long. I know I kept hearing people say that Ben was hitting crazy shots on them with the car, which is par for the course with Insane. You know how Ben is. Always hitting crazy shots with everything. Booten with 24. Arachnid with 22. 19 on Colin. 14 on Chi going Train. I know him and Colin were kind of rotating Train and 4-way. And then on our side, Toxinator with 43, pulling a hard carry there. Dorito with 30 on the Garand. So, did he top? No, Jared did top frag total. So Brian had 62, Jared had 70. Spec Ops with the bar and apartments, 24. Jules with 24 in apartments as well. I had 23, and John Gale with 19. So good game, good season to Chill Pill. I love all those guys. Everybody loves all those guys. There's not a single player on that team that people wouldn't say, I love that guy. So, it's unfortunate. That's the season for them. They had a good season. They almost beat us on Armory. It felt like they were just a couple missed shots for us in clutch situations away from winning this Railroad 2 game as well. I'd love to see them stick together. I think that team with some more time together could be really deadly. I know Insane didn't even really play this season until that match. And yeah, just I think they could be a team that could be a real spoiler for people if they got another season together. But on the other side of things, Over versus Clinic on Thunder. I tried to predict the veto process of this series, and I turned out to be pretty much right, which I thought was awesome. Candyman let me know that as the veto was going on. He's like, you got it pretty much spot on. And I said it would come down to Thunder or Anzio, and that I felt like Clinic should pick Thunder if given the opportunity. I forget who actually got the pick, to be honest with you. Oh my god. My headset cord is stuck in a wheel of my chair. But yeah, so it went to Thunder. Clinic has historically been really good at Thunder. And let me tell you something. They're still really fucking good at Thunder. They lost the game by 17, but oh my god, they were this close to winning that thing. So, on the Allied side here for Over, Clinic wins this half 56-49, a 7-point win. They outfragged them, though, by 49 kills. So, like, I'm sure Clinic coming out of that half would have wished they could have extended that lead a little bit. Over did a good job of hanging on at their last flags, getting the kills they needed, getting mid, and then not losing it immediately or giving up any ninjas. This could have been much worse for Over if they weren't, like, on top of their shit and sharp with their calls and sharp with their rotates, because Clinic, for all intents and purposes, was kind of dominant in this half. Like, they were all over him. Vic, 35 with the STG. Well, him and Tom were all over the Allied spawn house on the Axis side. Like, Vic had a lot of fucking kills, and every time he died, Tom was there backing him up. 35 on Vic, 24 on Tom. 32 on Insom. He's just so good, man. When he's on, good luck killing him. 29 on Carp, same thing, man. Again, I'll talk about Carp being the most underrated sniper in the game, that he belongs right there in the Nick Patton Nightmare combo. 29 on Suave, he's just a fucking gamer, man. He's good at everything he does. His aim and reaction time is insane. He had a couple nice movie clip runs in this game. And then Sam on the Stas playing that support role to a T, being there for the mid breaks, sacrificing himself in situations as the point of the spear, pushing up, getting information back to the team. And then on the Over side of things, it looks like 25 on Till, 23 on Saka, 21 on Caffrey, 19 on 50, I believe. Yeah, it's 50. 15 on Kumkum and Mata. There's teams, I feel like for our team, you have a half like this where, like, the kills, you just feel like you're getting fucking throttled. And it can go so much worse. I feel like it takes a good, strong team who understand their teammates and how to play with each other to be able to come out of a half like that and be only down by 7 and then know, like, hey, we got a whole other half to play here. Put that behind you. Move forward. We're going to do this shit. And they did. So second half, God, I'm going to have to do some math because the screenshot's a little bit washed out. Okay, so it was 62-38 for Over here in this half. 62-38 on their Axis side. Clinic came out flying in this half, too. They definitely got mid and held it for a lot of the half. I know it got to the point with about 4 minutes left where they did not need to cap out. They just needed to hold on to mid. If they had, they would have won. But Over, it was a big play by, I believe it was 50, that pushed up ahead of everybody, got 3 or 4 kills, allowed Over to get mid. I think it was either Caffrey or 50 that did this. They got mid, and then they started flooding mid. They kept Till there to watch the bunker exit. Send everybody mid. Don't worry about bunker. Like, if they get out, we'll deal with it together. But we cannot afford to lose mid. They had a good game plan for it. They executed it to a T. No slip-ups in that last 5 minutes. They did everything that they needed to do to finish off that comeback from the first half successfully. It was really something to marvel at. I thought Clinic had the game won at that point. And yeah, just Over hit the shots they needed to hit to break through on the mid cap, and then Till locked it down with the sniper rifle. Saka with 36 on the car. I know I was talking about checking my screenshots during the last DODCAST to see, because I felt like he always had strong Axis halves. He did. 36, 31 on Caffrey. Predominantly taking Unter in mid. Man, he's a menace with that. we played against them yesterday on Thunder as well, and I think he went like 30-9-10 or something like that. It's crazy. Really, really strong at Untering mid on this map. 25 on 50. Again, Travis, whenever he gets to play, he's just so good. You know, and he barely plays the game really anymore. He just shows up in these gold matches as if he never left. Kum with 21. Till with 20. 17 on Mata. And then on the clinic side of things, so over won the frag game here too by 26. For clinic, Candyman had a really good half. I know he started off like 6-0 as well. Got into mid-house, got a lot of kills, allowed clinic to cap mid first. Carp had 25. Vic with another good half. He top fragged here. I was actually already with 5 minutes left before Over had broken out at their second flag. I was like, man, I don't know, like who's going to be the MVP here? I think it's going to be Vic. I might have jinxed them. He ended up with 59 kills, though. Really, really good heavy game on Thunder. Suave with 17. Tom with 16. Insom with 15. You know, big, obviously, win there for Over. Eliminating Clinic. Season over for them. Unfortunate. Another team, you know, everybody loves Clinic. We got to play these guys on CS2 even after our last game. They're such good players. You know, I know they weren't super active really this season, and they still were putting up good games against basically everybody. And, yeah, just a bunch of good guys there. And, I don't know, we'll see what happens next season. I know that they would love to be playing in Silver. They're one of those teams that's just like they dominate Silver, and then in Gold, it's kind of like the game in Gold is being active a lot of the time. Like the most active teams usually are those teams that end up in the, you know, the semifinals and everything. It's just, it could be coincidental for sure, but it does seem to be like activity in Gold is the difference maker, because there's a lot of good players on every team, and sometimes it's just like, well, this team is playing regularly, they're staying sharp, you know, they're not getting tilted right away, they're out there keeping themselves warm and accustomed to making decisions in a timely manner in this game where everything is so fast and chaotic. You know, and it's one of those things like, I feel for Clinic, because I know that, especially in this season, there was a lot of debate about who belonged in Silver and who belonged in Gold. Clinic ends up in Gold. You could have easily seen, there's a few teams in Silver that could have easily ended up in Gold instead of Clinic. So yeah, like I feel for them in that regard. It's tough. Like, yeah, they have an argument for sure, but we'll see what happens next season. Can you imagine if Clinic was in Silver right now too, though? Like, how crazy is that Silver playoff bracket looking if you throw Clinic in the mix too? I know that there's always every season talk about, like, you know, splitting each playoff bracket to have 3. Like, you could have seen maybe like a Chill Pill and Clinic in the Silver bracket with like 3H Insomnia and, you know, whoever else, Romario, Spicy Butthole, all those teams. That could have made for some crazy games, I think, right there. But, yeah, good season to Clinic, man. I love those guys, every one of them. I think they're all stud players, too. When they're practicing regularly, I think that they have, you know, one of the top, like, 3 or 4 teams in the game. There's a lot of good teams that are just kind of like, they're good players playing together, but it's not really like, you know, we're understanding how one another play to the point where you're kind of like reading each other's mind. Clinic is like that. Going all the way back to Season 1, they've just been very, very good together, and it's always fun to see. So hopefully they'll stick around. I know they're loving CS2 right now, as are most people. I actually pulled a fucking sweet skin in CS2 today after we played a game. I'll bring it up and show y'all real quick. Let me show you guys what skin I pulled. Where is it? I actually was recording my screen too, because like there's no HLTV demos right now in CS2, which is why, well, sorry, GoTV demos. So there's a lot of cheating running rampant in the CS2 community currently, but after we played a premiere game, I had a free case, because you get like a free case every week basically, and I popped that sucker open against all better judgment. Where the hell is my, there it is. And this is what I got. I pulled a factory new in living color from it. I didn't even want to open the case because it doesn't have knives in it. But I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And I pulled a factory new in living color. I was very excited. I have to share this with everybody, okay? I was very excited about this M4. I do use the A4 whenever possible too, so I'm going to keep it for the time being. I will probably end up selling it eventually. But for the time being, I got a sweet factory new M4A4 in living color from a case today, which was very exciting. But yeah, moving on. Big win for Over. Sorry, I had to share that sweet pull with everybody because I never pull good shit in that game. I am fucking cursed. Over going to play NSA in the semifinals this week. I'll have to check how their pick ban went. And yeah, let's move on to the prediction section because it's 7:30 right now. And I do want to upload this before I have to go scrim because I don't want to be uploading while I scrim. So that would be a huge pain in the ass. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything here. Okay, no, I didn't. We're okay. We're okay. All right, so I've already got this screen up. Tonight, there will be a cast for this Railroad 2 game. Shut Up We're Trying versus Insomniac Gamers. Another big game. I'm very interested to see Shut Up We're Trying against Insomnia in this game. I think Shut Up We're Trying could win this game, for real. You'd look at the standings and think like, well, what do you mean? Insomnia, they're 5-1. Shut Up We're Trying, they're 2-4. What do you mean? Well, most of those losses for Shut Up We're Trying came with a very different lineup. I think that they are stacked to the tits now, and I think that they can beat anybody. But I'll be casting that game. I forget what time it was at, actually. Let me double check that. Let me double check that before I say anything further. No, that's their Sunday game. There's the Over NSA pick ban. I gotta check that out. There's the no-go game. Where'd it go? I think they posted it a while back. Insomnia versus Shut Up We're Trying. 9:30 Eastern. Okay. 9:30 Eastern tonight. Alright. Now I can get to the predictions. So, right off the bat, Shut Up We're Trying versus NOA is going to be the first predicted match. So obviously you know the prediction. Shut Up We're Trying is going to win this game. You know, like NOA is still brand new. They're still learning the game. And, you know, they're going to get better and better, but it's not their time yet. iJab, Blue Cactar, Meep, Eclipse, Mouse, and Shuan have predominantly been the NOA 6. Meep, I maintain their standout player. He just has really fucking good mechanics, man. Blue Cactar looked great in the heavy last week. I've seen Eclipse look really good on the sniper. I've seen iJab get some really nice kills on the automatics. And I've seen Shuan on the rifles do some good shit. For Shut Up We're Trying, Nicholson, Illusion, Stark, DB, AimTech, and Crawd. Just a very strong 6. The Stark Crawd heavy team I think is a really nice combo. Nicholson on the 3rd. Because you've got Illusion and AimTech on the cars, and then DB on the sniper. Been a great sniper, whatever division, whatever team, whatever map. They're just a strong team. They're going to win this week against NOA, of course. But, yeah. You know, again, the story for NOA, just continuing to push through. You know, learning whatever you can. I've seen a couple of them, certainly 12-man in recent times. I don't know if that, like, if they've been doing that all season or not, but it's good to see some of them getting in on 12-mans and getting some extra practice outside of matches. So we'll see how that keeps going. I say it again, I hope they stick together and play for however long KTP lasts. Because I'd love to see a team start from the bare minimum in 2023 in DOD and work their way up. It's just a cool thing and something we haven't really got to see in DOD since like fucking 2006. You know, our community's been pretty much set in stone where like the minimum and the maximum number of players are for a very long time. So we will see what happens with them. But yeah, Shut Up We're Trying over NOA, of course. Moving on to the next one now in Silva. Okay, we got 3H washed up, Spicy versus Romario, and Insomnia versus Saab. Oof. Man, every game in Silver is so good. I don't even know what to call the match of the week in this week. Maybe Spicy versus Romario is the match of the week. I'm going to call it Spicy versus Romario for now. Let me just think about this for a second before I say that. I mean, obviously, Insomniac should be the match of the week a lot right now because they're in first place, and anybody beating them could be a big win. 3H versus Washed Up. Let me see where Washed Up's at in the standings. 4-3 and 5-2. So if Washed Up can beat 3H there, they could steal their playoff spot. They could steal that 2 seed. That might be the game with the most on the line. I think Insomniac, unless they lose tonight on Railroad 2, Insomniac pretty much has the 1 seed locked up. As far as I know. I'll go with 3H versus Washed Up just because there's movement there. There can be movement from that game. So I'll call that the match of the week. Spicy and Romario does have a lot on the line too. If there's going to be a co-match of the week, it would be that one with it because they're both 4-3. The winner of that game gets the tiebreaker between the two of them, and then that means that they are most likely going to end up in the 3 or 4 seed. So, anyways, just moving on to the next prediction. I'll leave those two matches last. I'll go to Insomnia and Saab. This is another very interesting game. Even if Insomnia wins tonight and they can't be moved out of first place, Saab beating them would be a pretty big fucking deal for everybody. Let me tell you that. So, looking at the lineups, you'd figure it'll be Scotty on a car, Yanni on a car, Kingyo on the third, and then Nightmare and Manor on the heavies, Toki on the sniper. At least that's their main lineup. You never know if someone might be missing. And then for Insomnia, where is their lineup here? Okay, so you have Sean on a car, of course. You might have Corey Price on another car. You never know. Or Hypnotic. I'd love to see that lineup with Corey Price in it too, man. I keep talking about it every week. I want to see the Insomniac lineup when Corey Price is involved too, because they're so good already. But then you throw in a guy like Corey who can just go insane with the rifles. I mean, he can even heavy too. I've seen him heavy just as well as he rifles. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see him get a crack in that lineup sometime soon. But on the third, usually, is Head Like a Hole. That also could be Corey or Purdy. The heavy team, Riv and 9, been excellent this season, which shined through a lot in that Anzio comeback against 3H. And then Pibbian on the sniper, been a revelation to a lot of people this season. I already knew he was a really fucking good player, so not really a revelation to me. I just kind of knew he was going to have a strong season to begin with. I think I told everybody that in week 1 of the DODCAST when I saw him on that roster. So, this is going to be on Halle. So it's an interesting one. Halle doesn't get played all that often. There's not a lot of history to look back on in KTP. Let me tell you something. If Nightmare were to snipe this week, that would be really good for Saab, because I know we played against Nightmare on Halle, and he went like 80-22 or something against us. When he was on Typical, when they had Milo and Frank on the team. Like, I think we beat him by like 9 or something like that. But Nightmare had a ridiculous score in that game. But it's very much a sniper and rifle based map. Obviously, there's a heavy route that can be 3v3. Sometimes it can be 2v3, 2v2, whatever. You might see 4 people go bridge. It's certainly an option. That bridge battle is the most important one for sure, though. I mean, of course, you could just control bridge and your heavies could get shit on the heavy route, too. So, can you really say that it's the most important on bridge? Not necessarily. It is a double cap, though, versus a single extended cap, much like Armory. But a Sean and Pibbian and Hip or Corey or Head Like a Hole on bridge up against a Scotty, a Yanni, and a Toki and a Kingyo, with one of those two not being there maybe to go over to the heavy route. It's a lot of firepower on bridge. Man, it's a tough call. And then on the heavy route, you got Nightmare and Manor and potentially Kingyo maybe over there, or do they just send 2? You never know. Versus Riv and 9 and maybe a Head Like a Hole or a Purdy or a Corey. Man. I kind of wish I could wait to predict this until I see how they look tonight against Shut Up We're Trying. I feel like it's been a while since I got to watch Insomnia. I think the last time that I watched Insomnia play was in the Anzio match, which they were flying high for and had like the craziest fucking comeback. But it's been a while. I mean, you got to put your faith in Insomnia, but man, Saab, I'm telling you about Saab. You see a team losing those really close games early in the season. It's just like Icy Hot all over again, man. They were losing over and over in these single-digit, like, heartbreaker games. And now look where Icy Hot is. Like, they built from there, and they got all that fucking character from losing those close games to understand where they made mistakes. How, was I a little nervous? Was I pressing too hard? Was I not pressing enough? Those kind of things are very important for a team, especially come the big games in the playoffs. I think Insomnia will take this game by, I forget how the points work on that map because it's a single double cap. But there's only 4 flags, too. So I don't really remember exactly how that works. I'm going to say by, 26. Obviously things can change if somebody's missing from either lineup, class switching around, whatever. I'm going to take Insomnia, though. I think that on paper, overall, they're the team to beat in silver. I think they'll finish the season strong no matter what happens tonight. I don't think that they will go out and lose on Halle. Sean will have a big game. Pibian will have a big game. I think Scotty will have a big game, and Yanni as well. I think that bridge battle is just going to be a heavyweight war, and I think that Riv and 9 might be the big X factors with playing on the heavy route. Like, I think that all that skill on bridge is going to end up balancing itself out across the two halves. Like the car halves will probably be the strong halves for those two teams. They're all good Garants too, but I do think, like, in particular on Halle, when your cars are going strong like that. The Ally Loft is favored too, though. So it's kind of weird the way that map plays at times. And then, of course, I think Pibian versus Toki will be a fun sniper battle. Pibian, I'm curious to see snipe on this map where it's just like a big old wide open bridge, loft to loft, face to face, dealing with a lot of multiple target flick shot situations. He's got a really nice flick, so I think he'll thrive in that situation. But Insomnia, by I'm saying 26, but just remember, it is Saab. And if that game is close late, that's when Saab, I think, would be able to pull it out. Will Insomnia just run away with it before that point? It's very possible with all the frag power they have. So you never know. We'll see. Always depends on a few different things. But I'm going with Insomnia there to finish out the season strong, heading into playoffs. Up next, you got Spicy Butthole versus Romario. This is another fun one here. For the spicy side of things, you got the dynamic rifle duo of D's in Dillard and Die Life, along with Laura on the third, Stealth on the sniper. Stealth is really good at sniping this map, by the way, too, which I think will be a big factor for them this week. And then Twist and Stamp on the heavies. And on the other side of things for Romario, again, assuming like the main lineup or whatever. Oh, Vanicky, I didn't see in Romario's lineup last week either. So Vanicky and Rafinha were both missing from that game. It didn't even register to me. Anyways, Vanicky and Rafinha, LZL probably as well. Where's Matt on the heavies, and then where's Man? I just got so fucked up by the fact that it wasn't just Manned. I'm sitting there looking at the names, and I'm like, where's Manned? Manned on the sniper rifle. And then, you might see Lobaton on the third, you might see Barinia get in there, you might see Burn get out there on the lights, but mostly it's been LZL, Vanicky, Rafinha, Matt, Manned, and then a little bit of a revolving door on the 6th spot. Zaps got in there last week. This is a big game. They're both 4-3 at this point. Yeah, 4-3. The winner of this game would have the tiebreaker over the other. Obviously, it would also put them ahead of them in the standings on the last match of the season, so the tiebreaker wouldn't really matter all that much. But this is basically for the playoff spot they're both fighting for. Currently, as it stands, Saab is at 4-3. So just assuming my prediction is right and they lose, they would go to 4-4. Be tied with whoever loses this game. Washed Up is right there too. Washed Up is playing 3H. That's a big game. I mean, man, these standings, like, we know nothing at this point. Nothing is decided yet. And if Insomnia were to lose tonight, then literally nothing is decided. If Insomnia wins tonight, that's it. They're the 1 seed. If they lose tonight, though, there's a lot up for grabs everywhere. This is a tough call. So you got potentially a battle on the bridge of, like, what? Rafinha, LZL, Manned, maybe Vanicky in there. Not sure. Like, sometimes he's Stossing, sometimes he's carring, sometimes heavying. But then on the other side, you got the dynamic duo of Dillard and Die Life, Laura, Stealth. Kevin, I know, is really good at this map. I had to snipe against him. Was it in a match? No, it was in scrims leading up to a match when he was going to be ringing for, I think, PMC during a regular season game on Halle. And I had to snipe against him a bunch during 1 week, and man, was he good at this map. I'm going to go with Spicy Butthole this week, though. The thing is, like, of course, on the Romario side, you have Rafinha and Vanicky come out and have, like, the kind of games that they usually have. If they're both there, like, I'm looking at this like, are they going to have both of them there? I don't know. They didn't have either of them last week. I'm assuming they'll be back, but you never know. Maybe there's a reason that they weren't there. Maybe one of them's on vacation. I don't know. You never know. this is a must-win game for both teams, and I think it's going to be hard fought. Again, that bridge team is going to be just so much frag power on there. Man, this is tough. I'm inclined to take Spicy. Stealth, Dillard, Die Life, like that threesome right there is as tough a bridge team as there's going to be to deal with on Halle, period. Man, tough. I wish I could look back at like historical matchups between these two lineups and shit just to have a little more information. I'm going to just go with the gut on Spicy here, and then it'll be like a single-digit win. Less than 10 points it'll come down to. I just, the Die Life, Dillard, and Stealth, man, that is crazy. Rafinha, Vanaki, and Man, that is crazy too. LZL, man, on his Garand halves especially has been great all season. Like, there are a lot of ways that Romario can take that prediction and shove it right up my ass. I still maintain that Romario is going to end up in the finals of Silver this season, regardless. I think that they play at their best come playoff time in these close matches and everything when the most is on the line. I think if they get their best six together, they could easily win this game. And they could easily win this game without their best six if Spicy were to be missing, any of their main players, or if one extra guy in Romario goes off and has a crazy game, or if somebody has a weaker game on Spicy's side. But I'm going to go with Spicy. They're pretty active. I think they'll come out with a good game plan on this map. It's a map that not everybody has played a million times, so like a little bit extra preparation can be the difference maker. Romario's been pretty good at staying active too, so they could do the same. I wish I knew the lineup for Romario before this, but I don't. So I'm not going to assume that they'll definitely have their best six. I'm going to go with Spicy Butthole by less than 10 points. But this is another coin toss game, just like the washed up game last week with Spicy. Like, this could go either way. And I maintain Romario is still one of like the 3 teams to beat in the Silver Division. I think in the playoffs, they're going to be a whole different beast. They will have their best 6 come that time. And they have a very deep map pool, which not every team can say. Like, we don't have a fucking deep map pool anymore. But Romario does. Like, they can feel confident on basically any playoff map there is. So they're going to be fine, but I'm just the knee-jerk reaction after the little bit of a different lineup for Romario last week. I'm going with Spicy Butthole by less than 10. And then the other main match of the week, let's say, 3H versus Washed Up. There's a lot on the line here. So looking at the standings, 3H is 5-2, Washed Up is 4-3. If 3H were to lose and go to 5-3, Washed Up would also be 5-3. Washed Up would have the tiebreaker. They could jump up to that 2 seed. And does that give them a bye? I don't see anything about whether it's a bye. 3-6, best of 1, top 4, best of 3 semis, Silver A. I know there's not any more Silver A and B, so I'm not sure whether that's relevant. Silver A playoffs, it still has 4 teams listed. So yeah, I'm assuming that because it's going to be one bracket that those top 2 seeds would get a bye, but I don't know that for a fact. So it's a big game. Let me get the lineups here. So I'm going to just base this again on last week. You had War Within sniping. You had Casino on a car. You had Paintball on a car. You had Secretly, on a Stas. And then you had Hopper and Bromley on heavies. I said Paintball, right? On the other car? I'm sure I did. Obviously, things are subject to change with this team. They have a lot of good players on it. You could see Pro Star in there on the heavy, and Bromley on the sniper, or War Within on a heavy, and Bromley on a sniper. 3-sided quarter can snipe. You could see Bullet in there on a heavy. You could see Reptar in there on a rifle. I'd love to see Reptar play again. The guy's Garand is nuts, but a lot of skill on that team. And then for the 3H side of things, Modgers and Piff on the heavies. CK and Warchild generally on the cars. And then Austin on the sniper and Defrag on the Stas. One of the best third rifles and just all-around underrated players in the game, period. Man, this is a tough one too. So sniper battle-wise, Austin, I'm not sure how he feels about Halle. I do believe that he's got a good history on it. Potentially up against War Within, who's just been good at whatever he does. Across all the KTP seasons. And then you got like a CK and Johnny up against Casino and PB maybe, or depending on who plays. You know PB is going to have a good game this week. He'll have 65 to 85 or 100 kills. That alone is tough to overcome on a map like this always, because then you're dealing with a guy pushing your last flag and people having to rotate off. Then your resources aren't on the other route. You're thinned out in your numbers. Your heavies are able to go take advantage of that, etc., etc. The question is, like, you know, how much do these guys like these maps? I don't know. It's a map that isn't played that much. I know it's a very polarizing map. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams feel about it overall. I don't know how CK even feels about it. I feel like I've never played CK on this map. There's a lot of opportunity for nade kills, though. I think that Modgers and Piff heavy duo is top 2 in the division, man. Piff has been so good in what I believe is his first competitive DOD season. He's put up a lot of good numbers this season. So, you know, do we see Washed Up get Pro Star in there maybe to heavy? Cody would be a very nice guy to have in the lineup for this game for sure. You know, you get him and Hopper or him and Bromley or him and Bullet or whatever the case may be to try to lock down that heavy route against Modgers and Piff. And then maybe Defrag as the other guy over there. And then, you know, leave the CK and Johnny and Austin versus like War Within, PB, and Casino. I'm gonna take 3H because again I think that 3H is along with Insomnia, like those are the main 2 final bosses of Silver. I said earlier there are a couple teams in Silver that easily could have played in Gold and competed with everybody too. You know, like those are 2 of those teams for sure. You just look at the roster, it's fairly obvious. You know, it's not a big secret what I'm saying. Lots of very good players. But I fully expect Washed Up to keep this very close. You know PB is going to go off. You just know it. If PB has a half with like less than 20 kills like he did on chemille, he's going to make up for that ×2 in the next game. So like watch for PB to drop 80 plus kills this game and maybe give Washed Up a chance to upset 3H here and take their playoff spot, where 3H looked like they were going to be battling for the 1 seed to begin with, and then that tough loss to Insomnia, and then if they were to lose to Washed Up in this game, suddenly, you know, where are they, the 4th seed? That would be crazy. 3H just need to keep their wits about them, play as a team. They are a team, you know, like these are guys, most of them have played together for a long, long time, so I don't think they will fall into that trap of getting tilted by, you know, getting shit on a few times throughout a match. I think they'll be just fine. I think Austin will keep things stable on the bridge. You know, I know he said that he got some like lag issues and stuff taken care of recently, and that showed in his performances the last few weeks. I think that'll help a lot. Johnny and CK are very formidable main rifle duo. Defrag as that wild card 3rd rifle support player, as good as it gets. And then one of the best 2 heavy duos, I'd say, in the division. It's tough to beat that. Washed Up has a lot of good players, too. It's just been a little bit of a shifting 6 that they're doing based on maps, or based on who can be there, whatever the case may be. I think if they just had a consistent 6 that they were playing with from the start of the season, maybe they could have formed to the point where, like, they were also up there with those teams that, you know, like, are very fucking scary to look at that lineup. But it's just been very hit or miss who's in the lineup for them at any given time. But there are definitely lineups, multiple lineups for them that are God squads, just like the Insomnia and 3H teams look like. So, we'll see what happens. Playoff time, I don't know what to think about playoffs in Silver. I have no idea who is going to win this division. You can tell me 3H and Insomnia all you want, but they can absolutely lose to quite a few teams in the division. So, and Washed Up is one of them. I'm very excited for Silver playoffs. But I'm going with 3H to take this map, seal the deal as the 2 seed. And on the Washed Up side, I fully expect Paintball to go fucking off this week as well. We did see Washed Up get a pretty big win on Halle a couple seasons back, though, so keep that in mind. I remember that being a close game. Or did they win, or did they just, like, barely lose to Price is Right? I just remember it being a really highly contested game. Like, Bromley had a bunch of clips in it. But, yeah. Anyways, PB's going to have 82 kills, but 3H is going to win. We'll see what Washed Up does. We'll see who Washed Up has out there. I think it'll be a fun one. All right, that does the predictions for Silver. On the Gold side of things, it's playoff time. Where was the little challenge sheet? Oh, my God. I'm cutting this real close on myself right now. Let me open the challenge right quick. Okay, so Icy Hot, Thunder, obviously this is our match, so, like, they're, you know, what am I going to say about it? It's Harrington as the first map, Anzio as the second map, Lennon as the third map. You know, we've played against these guys a million times between scrims and matches. We know each other very, very well. I'm not positive what the lineup for ICEAT will be, but I think it will be Sick and Vertex on the cars, and then either Tony or Justin on the third. I'm not sure. Like, they can both do either or. And then whichever one they're not doing, the other one will be on heavy, along with Bees, and then Hildy on the sniper rifle. For us, it'll be me on the sniper rifle, Toxinator and Dorito on the cars, Jules and Ryan Emo on the heavies, and John Gale on the third. You know, I think this will be a good series. I mean, we're trying to at least get to scrim a couple times this week, so hopefully that will make it somewhat competitive. But Icy Hot, man, they look so good. They've been one of those two teams to beat all season. I fully expect them to win this game. I really do. I'm not nice guying. I'm not giving them the Peyton Manning. They're just such a good team, and they have a lot of game-breaking level players. You know, if Vertex is on, like him alone, he can just rattle off kills against anybody. And then at Bees as well, like usually Casey has like 70-something kills, and Bees is like upper 60s. And then everyone else on the team is capable of being right there with them too. You really don't get a break with this roster at all. It's scary as fuck. I think, you know, I could see it going 3 for sure. I'm very worried about Harrington. Anzio, I feel like it's just so ingrained in our heads that we should be able to at least make it a good game on Anzio. Win or lose, like it should be a closer one than Harrington will be. And then Lennon, who fucking knows? Lennon is such a fucking wild card map. Like, we used to lose to DGF. We used to win every other game in the regular season and lose our Lennon matches to DGF with regularity. So Lennon is a weird one, but again, I think ICEAT will win this game. Like, that's just the way it is. I've said it all season. I expect it to be NSA ICEAT in the finals, and that then they should have to play a best of 5 at very least. But I'd prefer to see a best of 7. We're gold players. We all want to know who the supreme king is each season. Why even do best of 3? Let's go all the way to the best of 7. That way the map picks aren't even a fucking factor at all. Let's just do it. That's what I want to see out of NSA and ICEAT come finals time. But I highly doubt that'll ever happen. Okay, and then I need to check the ban here for Over versus NSA real quick. To give you the exact pick ban, by the way, ICEAT banned Railroad 2, Thunder banned Thunder 2. ICEAT bans Rail Yard, Thunder banned Armory. ICEAT pick Harrington, Thunder pick Anzio, Lennon is left over. Okay, so for the Over versus NSA ban, the way the bans went, NSA bans Rail Yard, Over bans Railroad 2. I generally figured that was going to be the case again. Again, I know Over doesn't love playing Railroad 2, so NSA bans Armory. That gets a bit of a wild card upset map out of the way. Over bans Harrington. Of course, nobody wants to play NSA on Harrington. They're so fucking good at every map, but that map in particular is scary. NSA picks Thunder for map 1. That'll be an interesting one. Okay, Over picks Lennon. Of course, Lennon has been Over's best map since KTP existed. And then Anzio for map 3. That's a pretty fun series, I think. I am interested to see how Thunder goes between those two teams. I think that if Over has their P's and Q's minded, they could keep NSA in a situation where there's no cap-outs at least. And then that gives Over a chance to keep it close enough to be able to maybe hold on to mid. But just to go over to the lineups real fast, Over, Kum and Saka on the cars. I believe 50 will be playing as well on the Stas. Till on the sniper, and then Mata and Caffrey on the heavies. For NSA, the God Squad, you got PDX and Leo on the cars. You got Debo on the Stas. You got Milo and Taylor, a fucking long-time heavy duo, and 2 of the best heavies in the game, period, ever. And then, of course, Slick Nick Patton on the sniper rifle. Everybody's favorite sniper to watch. He's called Slick for a reason. He's Slick Nick, man. Go watch Legend of the Online Wizard 1, and somebody needs to make this man a second movie, because I can tell you, for all the crazy shit he had back then, he's had more of it in these last 4 seasons and drafts. Like, every time that I cast a Nick Patton game, he's going off on some marquee movie streak with, like, some crazy 1 lug plus a mid to long range no-scope in the middle. Like, has anyone forgotten that that first Harrington game of all of KTP when he had, like, I got that clip somewhere. I'm going to find it real quick. Before I continue on with this prediction, let me find that Nick Patton clip so everyone can watch it. I'm going to find it real fast. Where is it? Let me sort by size, I guess. Because it's a video clip, so it should be decently big. Where are you? Is that it? No. That's a song. That's a song. That's a song. Where the hell did this go? Oh, it might be this one. This has got to be it, right? Yeah. This is it. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. I'm gonna whip this out real quick just to give everybody a fun look. In case you forgot about this clip, here it is. Wait, that's not it. That's not it. Where is it? I thought that was it. Maybe I don't have it anymore. I'm not sure what that clip was. It was a Harrington clip, and I saw PDX in it, so I assumed that that was the clip, but I guess not. Maybe I don't have it anymore. But he ran through double doors to break mid, hit a no-scope with the spring. No, he hit a scope shot first, hit a no-scope to break mid with the Springfield. Then he picked up an Axis sniper rifle, hit another no-scope on the other guy mid-capping. Then he dropped the Axis sniper rifle to pick the Springfield back up and no-scoped a guy from the cap back to the top of mid-steps. It was insane. He was just swiping out fucking sniper rifles for one another and no-scoping everybody. It's one of the craziest sniper clips I've ever seen. And he did that in week 1 of the first season of KTP. As I recall, I believe Harrington was the first match of the first season. So maybe it's better that I couldn't show everybody that, because that way when it's in a movie that someone will eventually make for him, it hasn't been seen that recently by everybody. Maybe people will have forgotten about it. For now, it can live on in legend. Obviously, I'm going to take NSA to win this. I think that NSA is just like, I mean, I have not seen a team as good as this in like a long time. They are very good. They have 6 in their starting lineup. Whoever they have, all 6 players are going to be top level players, and they're playing together as a team, as a very strong team. Obviously T3 NSA, as they've been known throughout the KTP seasons, they've been that way the whole time. Just really good teamwork, really good understanding of the intricacies of the game. But on top of that, PDX having, I would say, the best season for anyone individually in KTP, period. He has been dominant this season. Everybody already considered him to be the best player in the game. But now, it's right there in ink on the stats week in, week out. He has been dropping bombs, really keeping this team glued together. They had a lot of blowout wins, but then against Icy Hot, they had close games where it was kind of like, this is where the difference comes between a really good team and a great team, when you see how they react under that pressure and that adversity, and they reacted perfectly fine. So that's not good for everybody else in the division, but it's sure good for people who like to watch NSA, which we all probably do. I mean, they're exciting. They all go off on crazy streaks and hit crazy shots. They're a ridiculous team. They're the team to beat. You got to figure that they will take this series and go on to the finals, but I could see Over finding a way through to get one map out of this at least. It was what, first map was Thunder, then Lennon, then Anzio. I don't know if Over will win Thunder. I mean, it's their best map for sure, but man, NSA is really fucking good on Lennon too. I could see them taking Thunder, though. Thunder is an upset map, and Thunder can go south real quick. You can give up a ninja cap, and then, you have to basically get mid and hold it for the majority of the rest of the game. And we can all talk about how, oh, that's what happens, but it doesn't happen all that often. More often than not, the teams are swapping mid back and forth. And when you give up a ninja cap, you can't really afford to do that all that much. So I could see Over finding a way to pull through a win there. They have a good... Just based on watching their game against Clinic, obviously Clinic ended up keeping it really close and looked like they were going to win. But I think that was a chance for Over to take lessons out of that and what worked and what didn't. Caffrey going mid with an Unter was, a fucking revelation. He's really good at taking that gun on that route. They had a good way of making sure when they got mid, they held it. I think that's their chance to take a map from NSA here. I think Lennon could be close, but man, a heavy duo of Taylor and Milo, like, that's fucking rough. That's rough for anybody to have to deal with, period. And then, like, oh, well, say you kill both the apartment players, then what? You run into PDX and Leo on well. Okay, let's say you did kill them too, then what? You got Nick Patton and Debo waiting for you on the last flag or on long, wherever. Like, it's a tough situation against this team under any circumstances, but I do believe that they are fucking absurd on Lennon in particular. Anybody who would have liked to have picked Lennon in seasons past against them, they should not pick it anymore. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, if you need to see what they did on Lennon this season, they won 552 to 210 against us. So there you go. Just casual 350-point win. Easy peasy. Yeah, I take NSA to take the series. I think Over's got a shot on Thunder. If they win Thunder and they can get this to Anzio, you never know. Like Anzio sometimes can just come down to who's hot that day, who's making rotations at the right time. But yeah, I still assume NSA is going to win the series. And it could very easily be in 2 maps. I'm just going to say that Over, their shot to take this map on Thunder is there. It's definitely there. Thunder's a map that is kind of like built for upset potential. So we'll see what happens. I hopefully will get to cast all those games, but I have no idea hypothetically when they're going to get played. I fully expect PDX to go off, and however many maps there are, he'll average 40 kills per half for each of them. And yeah, I mean, good luck to both teams. I think that'll be a fun series no matter what the scores end up being and who wins it. Good luck to Icy Hot. We'll see you guys on Sunday for those games. I will be fresh off a 6-hour drive with a couple hours to spare before a best-of-3 series. So I'm going to need to get some balls in my throat, if you know what I mean. And I do mean BAWLS. That's what I mean. Not the balls you're thinking currently with your perverse brain. Yeah, I will see people back later tonight for Shut Up We're Trying versus Insomnia on Railroad 2. And I'm not sure what else will go on Sunday because I won't be home probably for any 3 p.m. matches. But if I am somehow, which I'd be shocked by, but you never know, I'll figure out at least one game to cast. I'm sure Alapex will have multiple games to cast throughout the course of this upcoming week. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Then we got some DOD to play. And yeah, thanks for watching. KTP, love you guys. I'm out. Just under time, too. I just did it. And now I gotta go play DOD. And then cast DOD.